The United States had its first Muslim-majority city, and it was Hamtramck, Michigan. What once was a city with mostly Polish Catholic immigrants now is home to many Bangladeshi and Yemeni immigrants. Hamtramck has a diversity unmatched by any other city, but it wasn't always like this. Crossing the border, immigrant frontiers.
The desire for more local control over administrations and services, as well as concern about corruption on the part of that race leadership, led to residents of Hamtramck deciding to become a separate city in 1929. In 1910, Hamtramck had a population of 3,559 residents. However, the inflow of Polish immigrants who came to work at the Dodge main factory in the early 1900s caused the population to surge to 46,615 between the year 1910 and 1920. As a result, Hamtramck became a predominantly Polish immigrant town. The effort of incorporating Hamtramck as a city in the 1922 was spearheaded by the Black community and the Poles. There were numerous Polish businesses and churches in Hamtramck, and in 1930, Hamtramck's unofficial language was Polish. However, over the year, the Polish population has decreased, and now they make up only 8% of Hamtramck's population.
My mom immigrated here to Hamtramck in the 1990s from Poland. She actually witnessed the cultural movement of Polish people in Hamtramck. Personally, the change of Polish population hasn't affected me, but I can't say the same for my mom.
Since the 1980s, Bengali immigrants have moved to Hamtramck and started their own shops in places that were abandoned by the Polish. This led to mosques opening up and more Bengali immigrants moving to Hamtramck. By the 1990s, it became evident that Hamtramck was becoming a Bangla town. But despite Hamtramck's large immigrant community, many immigrants, including Arabic and Bengali, today have faced and still face many obstacles when adjusting to Hamtramck. Immigrants in the United States often face difficulties due to linguistic, cultural, and religious barriers, which can make it difficult to integrate into the country. These barriers can lead to feelings of solitude and require bravery, persistence, and a readiness to adapt. Despite these challenges, many immigrants persevere and eventually find success in their new nation. But before the success for immigrants, breaking down language, cultural, and religious obstacles to fully integrate into American society can be a frontier that requires bravery, persistence, and a readiness to adapt.
In the city of Hamtramck, mosques are essential for the Muslim community to meet, greet, and pray. However, the use of loudspeakers to broadcast an Islamic prayer or adhan became a point of contention. Muslim residents in Hamtramck filed a petition to allow adhan and gathered as many signatures as possible to support their cause. Despite their effort, city workers started to make excuses about the petition, citing noise pollution as concerns, which caused frustration among the Muslim community. The negligence of petition led to a vote which was 1,462 to 1,200 or 55% to 45% of residents that was in favor of allowing the amplified call. After much discussion, the City Council ultimately approved the modification of the noise ordinance in April, which governs the timing and the loudness of adhan. This was a significant victory for the Muslim community and allowed the Isha Mosque in Hamtramck to broadcast the call to prayer on loudspeakers. However, this solution was not without controversy. Some lifelong residents of Hamtramck were outraged by the council's conclusion, arguing that the loudspeaker broadcasts were disruptive and violated their right to peace and quiet. This tension between the Muslim and the non-Muslim communities led to a head in 2013 when a group of residents launched a petition to repeal the ordinance, sparking a heated debate about the role of religion and cultural diversity in the city of Hamtramck. Despite the controversy, the acceptance of adhan in Hamtramck cemented the city's reputation as a frontier for immigrants and a place where different cultures and religions can coexist. What about the other minority communities like Hindus in Hamtramck? Despite its decent size, Hamtramck's Hindu community has greatly enhanced the city's cultural variety. Diwali, also Kali Puja that happens in the same day, is one of the many cultural celebrations and festivals that the community celebrates throughout the year in Hindu Hamtramck temples. The Hindu community in Hamtramck still suffers, particularly difficulties like not having enough resources and assistance for cultural and religious traditions and practices. They make up their own small communities and always enjoy each other's company. Hindu Durga Temple in Hamtramck had a grand opening on July 24, 2011. Although Durga Temple began its spiritual journey on September 26, 2006, thanks to the generosity and hard labor of Hindu community in Hamtramck. The Durga temple also began the 2-day celebration of Shri Janmashtami, a birthday ceremony of Krishna, with a parade through the streets of Hamtramck for many years now. It has bigger celebrations like Durga Puja, Holi, where everyone dances no matter the age, gender, or race. Perks that I have living in Hamtramck is that I'm able to be in my culture, able to buy traditional goods available in Hamtramck market. Living with people with the same belief helps me miss Bangladesh less.
It can be challenging for immigrants to communicate effectively with American doctors because many of them can't speak English. The Wayne County Hamtramck Health Center faced many difficulties with their patients who are mostly immigrants. Immigrants not being able to communicate well with their doctors was because of a language barrier. For some Middle Eastern women, they are not used to all the touching nurses and doctors do during routine checkups. The medical practices are different in their home countries, said Marva Hingston. Additionally, a study from JSTOR done on women to find out how they felt about receiving medical care showed that immigrant women would like their doctors to share a similar culture with them, due to the fact that many immigrant women don't feel comfortable with American doctors. In Hamtramck, there are many bilingual doctors and nurses, including Arabic and Bengali ones. Me and my family, who spoke zero English while coming to Hamtramck, felt very comfortable going to the doctor knowing that we didn't have to speak English in order to communicate with them. We were also more likely to visit the doctors because the doctors shared a similar culture with us. Peter Jasławski became Hamtramck's first Polish mayor in 1922. Starting a history of Polish politicians up until the mid-1990s. Yet in 2021, when Arab-American Amar Galib defeated Polish contender Karen Majewski to become mayor, all would change. For the first time in 100 years, Hamtramck's mayor was not Polish. But before this change, on June 3, 2021, the city of Hamtramck was hit with a lawsuit. Despite having a large immigrant population, Hamtramck had Bengali sample ballots that were difficult to understand, creating a language barrier for non-English speakers who may not have people to translate a voting ballot. Not only would having the ballots translated in Bengali pull workers help me, but will also benefit many other Bengalis who are unable to vote due to a language barrier, said Mst Begum. This is just one of the reasons why the Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund filed a lawsuit in Hamtramck. This lawsuit was also filed because in Hamtramck, the Bengali language Democratic ballots were not easy to get a hold of, while the Bengali language Republican ballots were more accessible. Why did immigrants decide to immigrate and endure hardship in Hamtramck? Immigrants come to Hamtramck because there are better opportunities for them here than back in their homelands. Immigrants often leave their home countries for a variety of reasons, such as economic hardship, political persecution, natural disaster, or the hope for a better life for themselves and their families. In Hamtramck, Michigan, an estimated 11,572 of 26,868 people live in poverty. Although Hamtramck has many positive aspects, there are still immigrant obstacles to overcome. One significant problem is Hamtramck's high poverty rates. As a result, many immigrants may still be experiencing financial difficulties. Additionally, since many firms do not trust foreign degree programs, many immigrants will have difficulty finding employment. The process of settling in a foreign nation can be challenging and stressful due to these lifestyle differences from their home countries and Hamtramck. These obstacles to adaptation can limit their access to opportunities. However, in recent years, Hamtramck has changed, and there's lots and lots of local businesses that are run by immigrants who employ other immigrants.
Immigrants in Hamtramck had difficulty settling in because of limitations in language, culture, and religion. Having trouble reading votes, not having ajan, communication difficulty with physicians, problem with jobs and money, difficulty with Medicaid, and the growth in crime rates are just a few of the things that define the struggle of immigrants. Despite many immigrants coming to Hamtramck in hopes for a better life, cheap housing, and better opportunities, there are still obstacles they have to encounter before getting the opportunities they are looking for. Immigrants' frontier have to do with them entering a brand new universe they are unknown to. As they adjust to their new lives, they experience a variety of difficulties that frequently involve significant lifestyle modifications.